What's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be setting up a new skateboard. You can see. This is my old one. Nothing really wrong with it, except I did ride it in the rain a few times. It's just getting a bit old. And mostly I just want to have a new setup because my friends keep making fun of me for this grip tape. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how I set up my skateboard. It's nothing really special, but I thought I'd just bring you along. And this could kind of serve as a guide for those of you that don't know how to do it yourself. There's a few tips and tricks in here that are unique. And yeah, I'm just gonna chill here, build a skateboard for y'all. Alright, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just remove my my old hardware from my old skateboard. Or I guess my trucks. So I have new hardware. Alright, I got it. That was a struggle. Alright, so now that we got the trucks off, let's start doing the grip tape. Now I'm going to try something different this time with my grip tape. I usually just put it on flat, but I'm going to try having it have a little gap right there. Now an important thing to note is what side your board is facing. This one, it's usually the way a text reads, so this would be the front. And you can confirm that by looking on the bottom of it, or on top of it I guess. And if you can see that little 8.5 marker right there, that's how you know which way it is, because you're supposed to read it from the bottom. So this way would be up, or it would be the front. So now I know that this side up here is the front. I would make sure to have the text read from the front here as well, so I don't mess it up. So because I want it to be like this, I'm gonna have this part be cut off. Now it doesn't really matter how I cut this, because it's gonna come off anyway, but I do want to make it somewhat clean. There you go. That should be fine, I hope. So then I'm gonna do is take it off. I'm gonna line it up. So I want this top thing to be right there. Just noticed I put it on the wrong way. Luckily, because it's so warm out today, I can still kind of fix it. Oh God. Sometimes depending on the grip tape and how it is outside, you won't really be able to do that. But I luckily have the luxury of being able to go back on my mistakes today, because I always put the grip tape on backwards. I always do it. Not today though. Come on. Start from the middle. Kind of work my way out. Now as you can see, I'm using Cal 7 grip tape. And the nice thing about their grip tape is that it has these little holes right here. You can see that. And those let the air bubbles pass through. So even if you do have any air bubbles, they'll come out through these holes. And most grip tapes are like this today. Most modern grip tapes are like that today. So it's not just Cal 7, but yeah, if you guys do want to use my links in the description to buy from Cal 7, go ahead. You get a little bit of money from it. You know, you can get a joint or something, buy some Bitcoin. But before you guys do that, always make sure to buy from your local skate shops. Don't buy from Zoomies. Don't buy from Walmart, obviously, but support your local skate shop, because there's not many of them around. It's hard to keep a skate shop running, you know. It's a very niche sport, skateboarding is. So make sure to always support them first, and if you can't, then I guess find some online skate shop, small skate shop that you can support, such as Cal 7. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty straight, in my opinion. Just put the rest of it on there. All right, there you go, sweet. Now the board is somewhat grip taped. Now what a lot of people do is they use their skate tool to kind of, you know, mark where to cut. I like doing is using my trucks, because it's a lot harder to mess up. You know, sometimes you'll kind of overdo it and you'll scratch it like this with this side. I'm not going to do it right now, but you'll leave a little mark on your grip tape. But what I like doing is go with the truck. You got your wheel here. It's perfect. And you just kind of go over the whole thing. All right, there you go. You can kind of see, you can see how prominent that line is right there. Then what you do is take your same razor and you just start cutting along the line. Try not to mess up. There's just always something relaxing about setting up your own board. I don't know what it is. I don't do it all the time. I don't do it often. But it is satisfying, that's for sure. Now, as you can see, it just cuts so much smoother on that little white line that you made than it does on the black. Now, the curves are extremely hard. That's where everyone messes up. But there is a little thing you can do for that later that I'll cover. I kind of go and do just all the flat sides first, the straight sides first. Now, ideally, when you cut, you just want to have one smooth line without much sawing. Sometimes you have to saw though, but ideally try not to. Ideally just try to have one smooth line, kind of like this, because that's the way it's going to look the best. Because if you saw, there's going to be lots of little zigzags on it. On the nose and the tail of the board especially, it's going to be noticeable there. It's by far the hardest part, so that's what I'm doing the last. Okay, that side's not too bad. Could be better, but we'll come back and patch it up later. There's a lot of different techniques for how to cut your grip tape, but you know, I feel like every skater kind of develops their own over time. It's not necessarily a right or a wrong way to do it, but there are some things that you should just try to avoid doing. There you go. Now, with whatever grip tape you have left over, what I like to do is take a sizable portion of it, just fold it up like this. And kind of go over every spot that you cut with the grip tape, you know? Kind of like this. There you go. And then also take the same piece, maybe the other side of it where it's not all jacked up, and kind of scrub a little bit on your nose. Just a little bit. This way you don't get too much grip thumb, because whenever you get new grip, you probably will get grip thumb, at least a little bit. But if you do this, that should be fine. Kind of just makes it a little bit softer on the very, very edge. The next thing I'm going to do is put some new bearings on. I got Bones Reds. Now these bearings aren't really that old, but as you can see, it's not really that great. You can kind of hear how crunchy they are. I've had them on for about a year, I think. I could probably still wash them, but I'm just gonna replace them today because I feel like it. There's tons of tutorials online if you want to wash your own bearings. I've done it before. It does help, but I just like the feeling of new bearings more. Kind of a personal preference thing. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's kind of going above and beyond what you have to do when you're replacing a skateboard. And this little tip, just to get the bearings out, just put them on the end of your truck and rotate. There you go. Now, something I forgot to mention, when you take off your trucks, make sure to mark which one's the front and back. I can tell quite easily that this is my back because I do a lot more tail stalls and stuff. So I can tell that the back is a lot more ground up just by this washer. But for those of you that can't, here's a comparison, by the way. This is definitely my front and this is my back. For those of you that can't tell, just mark them on the bottom right here with left or right, or front or back. But if you're replacing your bushings, which is what I'm gonna do, it doesn't really matter. Although, I mean, if you want to do it, you still can. There might be a little difference just on what's grounded off of it, but it's really going to be the same thing. Now, let's get the new bearings on there. You can just hear how much quieter these are. They spin for a lot longer too, compared to this. Yeah, these were shot. When I get to this point, I mean, you can clean them, but this is pretty bad compared to. That's just a huge difference. I have the red on the outside. And what you can do to put them on as well, if you don't want to struggle with just putting them on like that, is just got them on a little bit. Put them on, push them as hard as you can. And that's probably going to be good enough. And then same thing for the other one. What I'm going to do is put the bearing on first, put the washer, or the spacer, I guess you could say. And then there you go. Cracking boys on there, and there you go. You have a wheel. You can see just how much quieter that is than the old ones. Put a comparison up right now. And look how much longer it spins for too. That spins for a long time. All right, so anyway, now when I put this back on, I like to have the wheels have a tiny bit of play, because if you put them too tight, then it's gonna kind of cause the bearings to spin a bit less or spin a little bit slower. So once I have it as tight as it goes, without, you know, obviously putting a ton of pressure on it, I let go about a quarter of a turn. That way there's just a little bit of play. You can kind of hear it, you can feel it. And that way I just feel like it spins for a lot longer. It feels a lot smoother too. And you pretty much repeat that for all 4 other wheels, which is what I'm gonna do right now. All right, we got all the bearings changed out now. You spin a lot smoother, a lot quieter. Some people like them louder, but I kind of like mine smooth and quiet. I don't know. All right, now I usually use Bones bushings. I usually use Bones soft, but the skate shop was out of those. The only ones I could get was these indie medium ones. So I'm gonna try them out. These look almost like the ones that are on these, which are the indies as well. So it might be literally the same bushings, but we'll see. I didn't change the bushings out on these. These were the stock ones. As you can see, these are these are about the end of the life cycle. They're getting cracked here. They're not that bad. There definitely could be a lot worse. But at this point, pretty much every time I let go of my board, it sways way off to the side. So I just wanted to replace them. And yeah, these aren't all that bad, really. These are actually pretty. They're still pretty much fine. So with these, the only thing you have to really remember, big washer on the bottom, square one on the bottom. You put your truck on here, and you put a cone on there, and you put the top one on there. You don't want to over tighten them. That's one thing you did not want to do. So if you want your trucks to be tighter, just get hard bushings. Don't get soft ones and then try to over tighten them, or get mediums and try to over tighten them. Just turn them until about, you can see, until about the bolt is flush with the nut. That's about when I stop. And obviously you can adjust these later. These feel really tight right now, but they're also brand new. Yeah, these are really tight, wow. So I'm gonna loosen these actually a bit more. And I'll put some soft bushings on here later when I can get them. You don't wanna have it too loose either, because then it'll just fall off. It's really more of a personal preference if you want to change them or not. You don't have to, and that should be good enough. All right, so now we pretty much have everything done. I also have some new hardware from Cal 7, the 1-inch Phillips hardware. And if you guys want to have a complete, I have all the things that you need. Link in the description down below. I have the deck, the grip tape, the trucks, hardware, wheels, bearings. It's all there. So open these up. So yeah, what you can do, so you don't have to guess where the hole is you just put the screw where the hole is and you just bam. No, it does not hurt. You just goes right through, as you can see. And that way you have a clean exit. And now that you got that done, you can go back with your X-Acto knife or razor blade, however I put that. And I just like to trim these little pieces off right here on the top, just so it doesn't get in the way when you're putting on the hardware in the trucks. Then you put your front truck on, which for me would be this one. And you can just finger tighten these for now. Now, important thing to remember when you're setting up your skateboard is that these two bolts right here, the kingpins, they go on the inside. They don't go like this. Nope, that's wrong. They don't go kind of like this. If that was like the rest of the board, they have to go like this. See, these are two. They're both on the inside. All right, and now all you gotta do from here is just tighten them. Now, if you have a skate tool, you don't have to really worry about over tightening them. But if you're using like a power drill or something, just be careful of how much you're actually tightening them, because you can over tighten them and cause your board to have micro fractures that aren't really that big of a deal, but it can make your board be weaker over time. So just try to avoid it. And you can technically, I guess, over tighten it with this too, but I mean, just have it be flush with your grip tape. That's about all I do. You don't need to dig it into your skateboard. Just have it be somewhat flush. Now, it doesn't really matter, but I do like tightening my trucks in the cross pattern. So top, basically 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't really matter. You can do it however way you like, but I just feel that way it's all even on all sides. Nothing gets too tight and nothing gets too loose. It's easy to tighten all the sides. And I don't know, maybe they'll come off a little bit easier or a bit harder, or they won't come off as easy. I mean, can't talk today for some reason. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Here you have your complete skateboard. It took me about maybe an hour to do, but I was explaining everything. You know, it's not the cleanest on the grip tape. I could probably have done a better job on that if I took my time a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, this is the deck. Looks pretty good to me, in my opinion. And yeah, all that's left now to do is skate it. So, hope you guys learned something new. Hope you learned some new strategies maybe. If this is your first time setting up a board, welcome to skateboarding. I hope you enjoy your stay here. And as for now, that's all I have. I'll see you later. Peace.